Is that better? It says JLab, so hopefully that's better. Sorry, Mikey. God, I can't get the comments up yet. Just to be clear, hey, Thomas is here. Wow, that looks terrible. Hold on. Actually, give me 1 second. Thomas, you take it. You take it from here. For a second. How do I add myself? Why am I not in here?
Hi, you have reached Thomas Stargell. Sorry I wasn't able to.
You not hear me?
Yeah, I can. We're live, bud. Hey, we're live.
Oh, we're like live on air?
Yeah, and I'm having trouble getting my camera on screen, so can you talk?
Oh. Hi,
Hi, how we're
doing?
doing? See, I wasn't expecting this. So the Browns has smoked the Bengals. See, I was hoping to get this set up. I'm not even sure if y'all can hear me or not, but what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up, America? How's life treating y'all? I don't know what y'all say in the comments. But since I'm here on this solo podcast, let's talk about the Browns versus Bengals. First of all, the Bengals got smacked. Quite hilarious. You know the funniest thing about that?
Fuck you, Thomas. How can I get in?
The Bengals fans are talking so much smack. All over the internet. I've ever come on this podcast, people was like, oh yeah, the Browns aren't going to win. Everybody pick them league did not pick the Browns. The joke on y'all motherfuckers, go Browns. We smoked the Bengals. Now, granted, it did rain, and we probably won't talk about that when Kyle comes on. But look, Kyle's not on. Kyle is not on this podcast, and it is my moment to shine because the Browns have smoked the Bengals. I haven't got set up yet. I can tell you all, the Browns have smoked the Bengals. Now, going on performances, I don't think that either quarterback really performed that great. Deshaun Watson, what he did was I think he adjusted to the weather conditions. Joe Burrow didn't. But I don't think it was Joe Burrow who didn't adjust to the weather conditions. I think it was Zach Taylor who didn't adjust to the weather conditions. Because Zach Taylor is not the proper head coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals will not win a Super Bowl with Zach Taylor as head coach. I firmly believe that. I've seen enough. Zach Taylor is not a championship winning coach. Yeah. I said that. Live on air. You know what? I think the Bengals are going to be fine, though, long term. I do think the Bengals still going to win like 12, 13 games, probably. They got way too many weapons on that team. But, they really got to fix that offensive line. It's funny that I say that because we've been saying that for, 5 years now? And it's crazy the Bengals can't fix their offensive line problems. Like, damn, fix your offensive line, homie. Yeah. It's weird without having Cal on her. So what's up with y'all, man? How's everybody else doing? How's everybody? Well, I don't know what the comics are saying, so I'm just kind of going off of ears. How's everybody else doing? Football. This camera gets to be perfect. I'm a handsome ass motherfucker. What up, handsome? Y'all just look yourself in the mirror and go like, what up, handsome? That's me right now. Just telling the world I'm handsome. Okay. This is great. This is a great position that my friend put me in. Yep. Going back to the game.
Am I here?
Oh, is that Cal?
Okay.
Can you hear me, Cal?
We're almost here. I've got a lot to say about your ass right now. Okay.
Dude, I haven't got set up yet. This is not even comfortable for me. I'm just like, this is just kind of like awkward. It took me off base. I wasn't ready, man. I wasn't ready. So I kind of just went off everything off my head.
Yeah, I wasn't ready either. This worked last time. I apologize. I really do.
But can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. And I think they can hear you too. Mikey's talking to you.
What's Mikey saying? What's Mikey saying?
Mikey says, we won our game too. Fuck you, Mikey.
Yeah, fuck you, Mikey. No, Mikey, you cool. Hey, man, look, Mikey. Baker Mayfield, it looks pretty nice. Watch out for that Baker Mayfield. Baker is cooking. I mean, all you gotta do is win 8 games to make it to the playoffs in the NFC. So I think the Buccaneers can win 8 games. I mean, it is the NFC.
We go. Okay, that's working. Okay.
Sounds like Kyle's.
The only issue now is that my video is not on screen. That's the only issue.
Dude,
which obviously doesn't bother you because you probably can't see any of this, right?
No, I can't see you at all. But I'm trying to get my headphones connected. I haven't got a chance to get my headphones connected here. Let me get my headphones connected.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that. Why is my video not working? I don't know. Maybe you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let's see. I'm going. Okay, so where video capture device. So this is going to be stupid. Okay, so there we go. There's me.
Awesome. Can you hear me?
Have that. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you? All right, I just connected my headphones.
So we're gonna do this. And this is gonna be really like janky, but this is what we're doing. Okay, we're gonna put me there, and then we're gonna put Thomas. Oh boy, we are professionals. We know exactly what we're doing. Okay,
I'm totally
Thomas,
professional.
you're coming over here, and for some reason you're in portrait mode, Thomas. That looks terrible. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, put myself in portrait mode. Or did you put myself in portrait mode?
No, you're in portrait mode. Your phone is recording in portrait mode.
Oh, how do I change that? Do I look handsome?
I would change the orientation of your phone to be horizontal.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
Did that work?
No, that's worse. I don't know, man. Let me see if maybe I can change it. I don't know. This is wonderful television. Right?
No, I got it. No, I don't why.
No, it's still doing.
See, because I wasn't ready, homie.
Hey, Mikey.
Oh yeah,
what's going on, buddy?
Here.
We're professionals.
There you go.
Hey, I think that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's it. Take care.
OBS Ninja. There we go. Okay, that's still out of proportion, but that's the best we got right now.
Oh, where's my hairbrush?
Okay, so that's still not good, but that's better. This is anti-climate. I'm sorry, Mikey. Okay. So we're here now. It's all set up. It's really janky and ghetto and stupid, but this is where we're at. All right, Thomas, I got some shit to say to you.
Wait, give me a second. Let me get set up because I had to wait for you to get set up. And I'm gonna be set up. I'm gonna be all set up so I can get mine, so I get all comfortable on my couch and shit. Because you want to freaking start recording without telling people you're recording. What's up with you, man?
It's just doing this to me now. Like
2 weeks in a row, man. I'm just gonna make sure that everything is just like clean and perfect before I come on this thing from now on because like I'm scared of saying something dramatically inappropriate and get it canceled because I am a dramatically inappropriate canceled person. And I was thinking about Gen Z and how they like to cancel everybody under the sun. Yeah, man, Gen Z is horrible. Like, you know, I realize the problem is with America. I didn't think I ever wanted to be. Gen Z is the problem.
With a bunch of Gen Z kids. Like,
no, you know, the thing that pissed me off about Gen Z is that millennials, like, we work so hard to keep the older generations in check just for Gen Z to act like all the older generations. They'll be like, oh, we don't act like them. They act exactly like the older generation. Not like everything that we're trying to freaking change. And the worst part is, you guys are going after the wrong people. Why are we going after people in Hollywood? Go after people in DC. That's my rant for today. Good night.
So, Mikey says this is weird and funny. Yeah, I agree, Mikey. This is very weird. We are professionals and we know what we're doing. And just to be clear, the reason we went live, I still haven't figured it out. I don't know why it's doing that. Out of nowhere, OBS just when I hit the start streaming button, which isn't supposed to actually start the stream. It's this weird thing with OBS, but now it's actually starting the stream. But the problem is the only way to actually know that it's connected to YouTube is to hit that button. And it used to like do it, but you still had to start the stream on YouTube for it to go. Now it just automatically starts it, which is stupid. But it's what we got right now.
Don't call me up. We're like, hey, we're live. Oh, okay, this is awkward. The fuck you too, Gal.
Yeah.
Send a link over to Joe. See what Joe's doing, man. Get Joe on this bitch. What's Joe doing?
This is what we got. So
show me what you got.
Okay. All right. So look, let's do this. Let's try to do this kind of right. All right. So this is episode 135 of the Battle of Ohio podcast, and the Bengals shat the bed, and the Browns won. You know, your defense looked really good.
I hate you, Kyle. Yeah.
Okay, so and at least we didn't lose by a billion points to a juggernaut. Because why, Thomas?
Because Pittsburgh still stuck.
Yeah, there we go. Hold on, that was the outro.
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
I accidentally played the outro
first. Good job, Kyle. All right.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
We back.
I know how stuff works. I'm good at life. I know how to.
You say that, and you got your camera's not on.
My camera's on. I can see.
I can't see you.
You can't see me. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem we have with this platform right now. Oh, you're talking about on OBS?
I can't see you at all.
Yeah. Okay, so I could not figure that out. Right now, I'm actually streaming directly from OBS. You're on OBS Ninja, which is the thing that gets you on the platform. I couldn't figure out how to get my camera on there. So you're just gonna have to listen to my voice for now.
That's fine. I'll listen to your.
Mikey is the ranting king. Well, you know what? I've got a couple rants to go on. 16,
where the fuck is the?
Okay, so listen, Thomas. Okay, I want to be very clear about something real quick.
Okay.
Your analysis is trash.
Dude, honestly, look, the thing is that, look, you got me in a bad spot. You got me in a very quick spot. I just thought I was talking shit to you because, like, you just put me in a bad spot. Honestly, before you say anything, you just get mad at me. I honestly don't think that there is any sense. Look, no, I said this. There's no sense of you guys to worry. Y'all gonna be fine. I'm fine.
Right. What I wanted to like poke at you and make fun of you for was the following. Okay, so you said the Bengals offensive line needs to get better. So like who?
Us.
Like
I don't
Jonah
know,
Williams.
man.
Jonah Williams was
I don't-
bad, and Ted Karras had a bad game. But for the most part, the Bengals' offensive line actually performed, I feel, pretty well. Jonah Williams, Ted Karras had a really bad game. But other than Ted Karras, like, the offensive line did well. It wasn't the offensive line's fault. Travion Williams had a good pass blocking game. Joe Burrow had protection. Myles Garrett is a nightmare of a human being. So that's just going to happen. But regardless of that, I feel the Bengals as a whole, as a team, played pretty damn well, except for Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow played like Andy Dalton in the playoffs. That's what Joe Burrow played like. Joe Burrow played so bad that the Bengals looked better in some ways. Like the offensive line looked better. The running game looked way better. The receivers were off, but I think that was partially communication with Joe Burrow. The defense looked really good. The Bengals, like 75% of the Bengals team looked like an improvement from last year. But the offense was so bad that none of it mattered.
Well, I mean, granted, y'all were playing in the rain.
I don't care.
Like that rain. Look. Okay, Kyle. I said this on the podcast. I don't know how many times. I say this all the time to people, and I say this to so many people, and they always give me the same old answer. You was telling y'all, playing that stadium fucking sucks. Like that's one of the hardest things in the NFL to play in because the weather in that stadium is so horrible. It's really hard to play in that stadium when the weather is bad because the weather is always bad in that stadium. It affects throwing, it affects running, it affects every facet of the game because you're playing literally off the lake. The only other sports stadium in the world,
you guys never have a winning record.
The only other stadium that the only other stadium that is right off the lake is the Chicago Bears Stadium. The only other stadium in the world right off the Great Lake is the Chicago Bears Stadium. Thing is playing in Brown Stadium is an absolute nightmare because when you play off the lake, you are a bitch to the weather that comes off the lake, and the Great Lakes weather is brutal during the fall, winter, and spring. And y'all can say whatever y'all want, but the people who say that is not are the people who never lived here or never been here or never played here. It's brutal. It sucks. The weather was horrible.
So I don't know what people you're talking about, but I very much recognize that Cleveland weather is horrible, and y'all can keep it.
No, you can take it.
Weather isn't great here in Cincinnati. It's just
the weather is 10 times better than Cleveland. It's just saying how much better Southern Ohio weather is than Northern Ohio weather.
I've been to Cleveland 3 times in my life, and 2 of those times I was driving in a blizzard.
Yep.
So fuck Cleveland.
Just the way of life here, man.
Yeah. Okay. So the main thing I wanted to poke at you at was your analysis of the offensive line. I thought the offensive line was all right. But again, my overall perception is like, because this team I really believe that this team is going to be really, really, really good this year.
It will be.
And the problem is, like they were ready to go win that game. And then just Joe Burrow was a nightmare. So like, right now I'm sitting here like, man, we could be so good this year if Joe Burrow doesn't suck. And that right there fills me with a lot of hope because it's like, well, Joe Burrow's not going to suck. Like that's he had a bad game. It happens sometimes. And it's annoying that we cannot beat the Browns.
Because Joe Burrow sucked yesterday. Joe Burrow sucked yesterday because freaking Zach Taylor was trying to have Joe Burrow throw the ball down the field when nobody was catching.
I'm fight you about. Not going to win the Super Bowl with Zach Taylor. Fuck you.
You're not going to win the Super Bowl with Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor's a good coach. Now,
No, he's not.
He's not perfect. He does stupid things like, hey, look, the running game's doing really well. Let's make Joe Burrow throw it 50 times in the game, even though he can't like hit the broadside of a barn in this one. I will admit, he does stupid things sometimes. But in general, he's a really good coach. He's built a really good team. He
was gifted. He was gifted one of the best quarterbacks in the last 20 years.
He wasn't gifted that. If you remember, there was a lot of people saying the Bengals should draft like other people, and there was controversy that year. Yeah, Joe Burrow's the correct decision. And I'm not saying Zach Taylor deserves to be like lauded. I'm not saying Zach Taylor deserves to be lauded for like selecting Joe Burrow because like duh. But what I am saying is it's not just Joe Burrow. This is a really well put together team. You saw in that game, Joe Burrow sucked, but the rest of the team was really good. It's not just Zach Taylor that's put together that team. The Bengals front office has done a good job, but Zach Taylor's done a lot of really good things too.
Zach Taylor's
really good at making halftime adjustments.
He's okay. Look, he didn't make no halftime adjustments on Sunday.
That he didn't. He was very bad on Sunday. But that doesn't mean he's bad in general. Just because he had one bad game doesn't mean you can just come in here and say that he's a bad coach.
Look, I mean, like I've been bullish on Zach Taylor for a minute.
But he has one bad game and suddenly he's terrible.
No, like what I'm saying is I've been like up and down on him for a minute. I'm really use my words better. I know. I got a college degree too. Sometimes I think I can think that. Here's my thing. There's been instances in the past where I got frustrated with Zach Taylor, and times where I like Zach Taylor. I'm up and down on him. The reason why I don't think that you guys are going to win a Super Bowl with Zach Taylor is because, quite frankly, I've seen enough, especially after yesterday. I felt like, or Sunday, I should say, I felt like there's a preparation, there's an attitude that the team should have had coming into week one. You do not give away losses in this AFC. The Bengals didn't feel or sound prepared going to this game at all. You said it. You admitted it. We talked about it. Freaking Jamar Chase saying what he's saying. And it wasn't even like Jamar Chase saying Cleveland. I don't think that was the most damning thing that Jamar Chase said. I think the most damning thing that Jamar Chase said this offseason was him saying that Joe Burrow could take off 4 or 5 weeks to get himself healthy and right. And then the Bengals.
Yeah, Jamar Chase has been shooting himself in the foot.
Yeah, no, you can't be saying shit like that, man. And like, but when you're saying shit like that, that's a reflection of what's going on in the locker room, the offense. Zach Taylor's running the offense, and But my thing is, and it maybe is just one game, maybe it's a overreaction. Y'all going to win 12, 13 games. My whole thing is that I've seen so many coaches in Cleveland during bad weather games. There's been plenty of bad weather games. And one thing that I could tell you is a familiar pattern of bad weather games is the team that adjusts at halftime makes the furthest leap. Now, maybe Kevin Stefanski just had more horses or he was just in a better position to adjust at halftime, but neither of the coaches knew that the rain was coming. Problem was Zach Taylor kept on having Joe Burrow do these drop back passes in the rain, knowing that people weren't catching the ball in the rain. It just wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening. This was a very weird rain. There was sleeks of water coming from the sky. It was the craziest thing ever. It wasn't even crazier about the rain, Kyle. You know what's even crazier about the rain? The only place that it rained in the entire Midwest was above the Cleveland Browns Stadium. Now, I don't just mean in Cleveland, Ohio. I mean above the Cleveland Browns Stadium was literally the only spot in the entire freaking city that it rained. It was sunny at home. I don't know. It's like God himself was like, let there be rain on this. I don't know why. And that's what happened.
Well, you know what? The fact of the matter is, it shouldn't have mattered because the Bengals' running game was doing well. And when it rains like that, you run the ball. So I will admit, that is an example of Zach Taylor's weakness. He does stupid shit like that. I will admit, at no point have I ever said that Zach Taylor is, like an elite coach or anything like that. He's not. But I think he's a good coach, and he has a lot of good qualities. I don't think there's any reason to say that. Like he's like. I used to say this about Andy Dalton. If the Bengals could put the right team around Andy Dalton, they could win the Super Bowl. Like 2015. If Andy Dalton doesn't get hurt, it's definitely the way that he's playing. It's possible the Bengals could have, they definitely would have beat the Steelers. And then, could they have gone on and won the Super Bowl? It'd be hard to beat the Broncos that year. But I think that was a year that that's an example. You don't have to have an elite person at every position to win the Super Bowl. You have to have a cohesive team. And that's one thing Zach Taylor is elite at, is putting together a cohesive team.
All right.
Everybody buys into Zach there in Cincinnati.
I mean, you don't need an elite coach. You don't need an elite coach. You don't need an elite coach. Excuse me. You don't need an elite coach to win a Super Bowl. Bruce Arians winning a Super Bowl with Tom Brady is a very good example. I think Bruce Arians. Honestly, I think Zach Taylor could be a better coach than Bruce. Is probably a better coach than Bruce Arians. Honestly, I already think Bruce Arians is that great a coach. So I guess saying that you all won't win a Super Bowl because Zach Taylor coach. I think that might be maybe a bullish statement, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that bother me about him, and it's been bothering me for a minute. And I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling him. I just feel like you guys have a generational player right now. Y'all have a couple of generation players in Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And I just don't think that y'all got the right man leading the horses. And that's not even saying, and I just say that because I think that y'all can get better because I think people will line up to be the head coach of the Bengals. I think people will line up to be head coach of the Bengals. I think if you can get better, go get better. Why are you dating a 6 when you can be dating a 10?
Okay, so here's the thing. If Joe Burrow really is the crux for the Bengals. If Joe Burrow really is the reason why they could win the Super Bowl, then I think the fact that Joe Burrow wants Zach Taylor there is what matters. Zach Taylor is a good enough coach to get the job done. And Joe Burrow buys into Zach Taylor and wants Zach Taylor there. Like, Joe Burrow has gone to bat for Zach multiple times. That's his guy. And if Joe Burrow's the guy, then we want his guy in as the head coach.
Baker Mayfield wanted Freddie Kitchens. That worked out well for us. Yeah, man.
They didn't seem to like each other very much.
Yeah, well, I mean, emotional change, man. You know what I mean? Baker Mayfield's an emotional person. You know emotional people. They like somebody one day.
Also, let's roll it back for a second. I think Joe Burrow is a little more critical of a player than Baker Mayfield. Like, Baker Mayfield was a very good player. But I think Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow is a generational player. Baker Mayfield was like good. Up and down. Baker Mayfield's the kind of guy who you can win a Super Bowl with if you catch lightning in a bottle. You know, kind of like the Rams with Matt Stafford. Baker Mayfield's like a Matt Stafford type of quarterback, and Joe Burrow.
You know what's funny about that is I made that comparison earlier today. I literally made that same exact comparison earlier today. It tells you where our minds are. Like, look, man. All right, look. Let me say this about Zach Taylor. I think that Zach Taylor is. Don't think that he's a bad coach like you said. But there's been so many times where, like, I mean, he would have got fired to Cleveland
Well,
but that's not saying a lot. Cleveland
Tom
fired.
Landry
Cleveland
be
fired.
fired in Cleveland by now. I'm surprised
Cleveland fired.
Kevin Stefanski hasn't been fired.
Cleveland fired 2 of the top 5 greatest coaches of all time.
Right.
So I mean, that's not So I mean, Cleveland fire anybody.
Again, I'm surprised Kevin Stefanski hasn't been fired yet. Like, not that he deserves to be.
I mean, honestly, no. I mean, I'm 100% with you. I've been thinking that every day. Like, I don't know how the hell this guy never got fired. I've been thinking the same thing, homie. But even still, like, I just feel like Zach Taylor's a good coach. He's a solid coach, but I don't feel like he's one of those offensive minds in the game where you're like, this dude can change the whole landscape of the game with his mind, or where he can change the whole landscape of the game with his game planning. So like Mike Tomlin or like Pete Carroll or like who's the coach for the Rams? I'm thinking of his name. Sean McVay. Yeah, but the thing is, what I'm saying is Kyle, y'all could get a guy like that because y'all got Joe Burrow.
That was what Zach Taylor. That was the whole point of hiring Zach Taylor, Thomas.
Because he was from the tree of Sean McVay.
Yes, but you're saying like, oh, you could go get a guy, but like who? Like I mean, you're like, oh, just go get a guy, but like you can't just. Like you can't guarantee that the guy like you can hire like a Super Bowl winning coach like Mike McCarthy and it doesn't work out. I mean like Dallas is good this year, but like what have they actually done so far?
That should go be Harbaugh.
No.
I think Harbaugh would be a better coach.
Harbaugh doesn't want to leave Michigan, dude.
Yeah, right.
and not to mention, I don't think Harbaugh would have messed with Joe Burrow in the first place.
Oh, wait.
It's just personality types. I don't think it would have worked. I think Zach Taylor has the perfect personality to work with Joe Burrow. Now we can talk about strategic missteps. We can do that all day long because last year I was ready to kill Zach Taylor for some of the like going for it on 4th down in really stupid situations and screwing us a couple of times. However, we still went to the AFC Championship, bro. And it wasn't always because Joe Burrow was like having a like. It's not like Joe Burrow came out every single game and was just like just like won the game with his arm. Like that didn't.
You did it for like most of your games.
The offense didn't do well.
Y'all literally went to the Super Bowl because Joe Burrow is a freaking superhero, man. That's probably fixed off the line.
Okay, so can we beat the Chiefs? Joe Burrow did a really good job of beating the Chiefs. But if you recall the game before that against the Titans, Joe Burrow did not have a good game. It was a very not great offensive game. It was just really well managed. And give a lot of credit to Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator. But who brought Lou Anarumo? Who had the vision to see that Lou Anarumo would be, somebody worth bringing in the first place? That's the thing about Zach Taylor. Yes, he has strategic missteps. Yes, he's not the most complete package that you would ever want at a head coach. But he's got the vision that people A, buy into, and B, works. Like you're not always entirely sure why it works, but it does work.
That should go after Coach Fromm.
It'd be interesting to have him back in Cincinnati. Last time he was in Cincinnati, he didn't do shit.
Oh, yeah, hold on. He played for y'all?
He played for the Reds.
Oh.
He didn't do much.
Oh, well, because he was a baseball player. He was playing baseball for the time of school.
Well, yeah. As I recall, he was a pretty good baseball player for like. I don't remember. I think he did well in baseball. I mean, he wasn't like a Hall of Famer like he was in football. But like, I think he did well in baseball as a whole. It's just like when he was in Cincinnati, it wasn't his best stint, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, he was okay in baseball. Oh, cool. I'm closely looking at my battery on my phone, making sure that thing is charged. I ain't letting my battery fall.
Last time.
Yeah, I'm not letting that happen. You know. Zach Taylor is a bit overrated, but still good. See, Mikey, I agree with you. Mikey.
You're seeing the comments now?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay,
that
so
must happen.
I wanted to point this out. Mikey says Zach Taylor's a bit overrated, but still good. Now I disagree with that. You know why? Because I don't. How is he overrated? It is a common thing to say that Zach Taylor's not a good coach. Most
I'm not the only one.
How can you be overrated when nobody believes in you? The only I get shit from Bengals fans because I defend Zach Taylor all the time. How is he overrated when in general people don't believe in him?
Because you believe him, Kyle. You believe in him.
Okay, so maybe he's overrated. I probably overrate him a little bit. That's fair. But I also point out a lot when he pisses me off, and I'm like, you got to do better. So
okay,
I probably overrate him a little bit, but not that much.
So if there's 500,000 fans that could like a guy for them, so say like Zach Taylor, right? He deserves to have about 255 fans, right? Well, right now he has 256 fans. So if you, Kyle, didn't like Zach Taylor, he has 255 fans, which is given a proper rating of where he deserves to be. But you are the tip of the iceberg to sit him over the bird.
Okay, listen. Here's my analysis of Zach Taylor. I think that Zach Taylor. There's a lot of differences. I'm not trying to say they're the same type of coach at all, but purely from an efficacy standpoint, Zach Taylor is about on the same level as Marvin Lewis. The Bengals essentially made a lateral move just with a different perspective, which honestly might have been what they needed, because Marvin Lewis wasn't a bad coach. He was just his perspective was tired and needed to be changed, and it was over. Zach Taylor, I feel, is about as good of a coach as Marvin Lewis was.
Marvin Lewis now had Joe Burrow.
Well, yeah, right, I know. That's what I'm saying. If Marvin Lewis had Joe Burrow, I feel like you'd be getting similar results as you get with Zach Taylor.
I don't know how I feel about Marvin Lewis, honestly. I always thought about that. I don't.
He was a good coach, but he wasn't an elite coach.
Bad coach.
He did some great things. Like you remember how bad we were before Marvin Lewis showed up? It was catastrophic. It was like how bad you guys are.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Word, to be fair. Y'all are a little better now.
I appreciate that. I still appreciate that one. Look, man. Look. I'm going to give this season. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to give this season. I'm going to give him this season. I'm going to say, man, keep an eye on it, man. And my coach is on a hot seat right now anyway. So, it is what it is. I think that you do got to give coaches a chance to figure things out. I just felt like when it started raining so hard, it just felt like there was just no adjustments, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's you mentioned it before, and it is a fact. Zach Taylor did not make adjustments in this game. I said Zach Taylor's great at making halftime adjustments, and he usually is. I don't know what happened against the Browns. I'm baffled. I was watching that. You should watch my live stream, because the entire time I'm just confused. I'm furious. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also confused the whole time. I'm like, this is not the Bengals that have been showing up lately. What is happening? Like this is not Zach Taylor. This is not Joe Burrow. This is not Joe Mixon, because he actually looks good.
They weren't prepared, man. Y'all win the game. Y'all win the game arrogant, man. Y'all win the game arrogant, man. That's what y'all did. Y'all win the game thinking, all right, we're the Bengals. We're going to play the Browns. We've been in the Super Bowl. We've been to two straight AFC Championship games. We got Joe Burrow, who's going here. He's going to roll the Browns, because no way the Browns are going to come in this game prepared. Y'all literally underestimated your opponent, and then y'all got whooped and humbled. Thing is that if we go again, if we play the game like week 8, y'all probably beat us. But you guys just didn't prepare. And the reason why I am crushing Zach Taylor right now is because of that reason alone. He did not have y'all prepared on Sunday. He did, man.
I agree. That is a valid reason to criticize Zach Taylor. I'm just saying to take the conclusion that they're not going to win a Super Bowl with Zach Taylor when they came within literal inches of winning a Super Bowl just 2 years ago.
They did.
To say that
They
they're
did.
not going to win one with Zach Taylor, I think is silly. Yes, he needs to improve certain things, but you don't have to be perfect to win a Super Bowl. You just don't.
That's true.
John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl.
He did. Fuck that guy. You know,
I mean,
just kind of sprig that in there.
I know he's seen as like a Hall of Fame coach these days, but Bill Cowher won a Super Bowl, and before Bill Cowher won that Super Bowl, he was seen as like a guy who's a really good coach, but just can't get it done.
Y'all won a Super Bowl because Joe Burrow went off.
Do what?
Y'all won a Super Bowl because Joe Burrow went off.
We would have won a Super Bowl if Joe Burrow had gone. But that's another example. The offense, Joe Burrow doesn't always have good games. Yet they still went to the Super Bowl, and they went to the AFC Championship last year.
You don't have a good game every game. You don't have to be like that, like dynamic game every game. You just have a game when it matters.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, honestly, how? Okay, so not that it doesn't matter. The regular season always matters, and divisional games really matter. But at the same time, if they do this year what they do every year, and that start slow and turn around and win the division anyway, how much did Week 1 really matter?
No, I mean, y'all gonna be fine.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Dude, I literally said in the last podcast, you guys are gonna lose against the Browns, but beat us the last week, and you're probably gonna win the division, and you're gonna have a win advantage above us. And then I said, I think the Ravens are gonna finish last in the division. That's what I said last week. I still kind of believe. I still don't believe in the Ravens at all.
Okay, Mikey, you're wild for this. Zach Taylor and Dennis Allen are the same coach. No, shut up. Go away.
Who's Dennis Allen?
Dennis Allen's the Saints head coach. He used to be the Raiders head coach years ago, and he's completely ineffective. He doesn't have. Like the thing is, Zach Taylor has problems, and in a lot of ways, I think he does have some similar problems that Dennis Allen has. But Dennis Allen doesn't have the upsides that Zach Taylor has. That's the thing. Like, Zach Taylor does have problems, and I will admit that. He's not the best head coach in the NFL, and he's not. He may not be the best head coach in Bengals history. Like, I mean, he's right there with Marvin Lewis. But the thing is, he has those upsides, and that's undeniable that he has those upsides. If Dennis Allen would not have taken the Bengals to the Super Bowl, it would not have happened.
I'm just watching this game. I'm literally got the game on my TV right now. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at that drive that Watson had before the half. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think Watson played a bad game. He's still getting a rhythm. And, honestly, I don't think I don't really blame Burrow. Burrow did have a bad game, but Burrow coming off an injury and the conditions to play were just absolutely horrendous. So, like, what you gonna do?
Okay, like, but it's not an excuse. And it's partially it's not an excuse because Joe Burrow's played in rain before and he's done better than that. Like, okay, maybe the passing game isn't going to be elite, but it was as bad as it was. And don't forget, like, I've said, I told you on the phone, and I will say here. I don't think the Browns' offense was all that impressive either. They just had a lot more opportunity than the Bengals had. But I felt like the Bengals' defense had a good game. The Browns just, like I said, the Bengals just were so inept on offense. It was like if the Browns didn't score at least 24 points, it would be a big problem.
How did we have more opportunity on offense when we had 2 turnovers?
Exactly. That's my point. You're right.
Like,
how is that true? But it is.
We turned the ball twice, man.
Because we never did anything when we got on offense. We were constantly going 3 and out. That's why.
It was the same.
Y'all kept getting the ball back. It
was insanely hilarious.
And then we just gave it right back because we didn't do anything with it.
It was insanely hilarious. Insanely hilarious.
Look at me on toes. But that's my point. But that's my point. The Browns'
But
offense was
even still
not horrible by any means. But
Deshaun Watson had more than 20.
Great.
Deshaun Watson had more 20-yard passes than Joe Burrow did.
That's not a high standard.
No, I'm just saying, man. Because like they played this. I keep on telling you, that's just millions of times that I've been in that stadium. Many times I watched Hall of Fame quarterbacks struggle because of the weather. And I remember games where Baker Mayfield couldn't throw because the weather was so horrible. The other quarterback couldn't throw either. And I was just thinking to myself, like, dang, this is horrible conditions to be throwing the ball in. And then you're like, well, Thomas, they're NFL quarterback. You're like, yeah, but like, it's literally physically impossible to throw a football when it's literally a hurricane outside. 40, 50 mile per hour winds. That's not even exaggeration. That was the actual game.
Okay, so the point I was trying to make, and I just wanted to point out that Deshaun Watson and the Browns offense, I don't feel had the best game. But they still did better than the Bengals. Like, it's not an excuse that the rain was like, oh, it was bad rain, and that's why they didn't do well. It's like, yeah, that's why they didn't do, it was definitely harder. But if the Browns can do it, then the Bengals can do it. They're both NFL teams. You can go out there and throw the ball in the rain and do better than they did. I could go out there and throw the ball in the rain and do better than they did.
The reason why the Bengals didn't do better than what they did is because they weren't prepared.
I don't know exactly why. It might be a preparation thing.
I think it was a preparation. I think they just,
might be
you know what I mean? Like,
but I don't think it was a preparation thing because the running game was fine. I don't think, and the defense was. No. You can't just come up here and say, "Oh, it was a preparation thing," and just leave it at that. You need some evidence. The Bengals did well. Joe Burrow just sucked.
Like, see, the thing is that the problem is I just have a really hard time criticizing Burrow because I like Burrow a lot. Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to criticize Burrow. Is my problem. Burrow obviously sucked because, you know what I mean, like he didn't have a preseason.
I don't care.
Y'all gonna be fine. Y'all gonna be fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I'm saying the rain is not an excuse. That's what I'm saying.
It was pretty bad. It's pretty bad out there. Man, it was like sheets of rain coming down. Like, it was insane. Like, rain was so bad, man.
And I gotta let him in.
Yeah, shout out to the pathetic dogs. Yeah,
they're good boys, but they're pathetic.
Yeah, shout out to the pathetic dogs. You know who else is pathetic? Kenny Pickett. You pathetic.
You know, we can. I'm definitely down to talk about how bad the Steelers were because that makes me feel slightly better about my team. Because that's the thing. As I was watching this game, I'm like, at least we didn't look that bad. What?
No, dude, y'all gonna smoke the Ravens.
The offense needs to be better. If the offense improves,
who did the Ravens beat last week?
Texans? The Texans. I'm not saying the Ravens are good. I'm saying the Bengals are only going to smoke people if their offense is competent. And the thing is, the offensive line's better. The running game's better. All the shit we bellyached and complained about last year appears to be improved. But if Joe Burrow isn't working, then there's no chance.
Y'all gonna smoke the Ravens because the Ravens aren't good. The Ravens aren't good at all, man. And I keep on yelling that, and people think I'm crazy because how the hell? Okay, how are you going?
They're not going to be good if they can't field any players. That's one thing I gotta say.
Well, yeah, that. But like my problem with the Ravens is you have a quarterback that runs and he's trying to learn how to pass the ball. Like, if you don't know how to pass the ball by now, you ain't gonna learn how to pass the ball. It's like being an 18-year-old can't read. I can't read. Like, well, you just doomed for life, sir.
Yep.
Can't read that. I mean, I can't spell. I still use Google to spell. I could read.
By the way,
Studs, okay?
speaking of the Ravens, just a little announcement here. I don't know how many people really. I know Mikey at least was in here. I don't know if you're still in here, but I know we don't have a whole lot of viewership right now. But for what it's worth, my plans changed again, so I will be streaming the game this weekend.
Good shit.
I basically had to cancel my plans because of stupid stuff.
Shout out to stupid stuff.
Oh, hey, there's Mikey.
Well,
Mikey's still here.
I'll be in Pittsburgh Monday night.
You'll be in Pittsburgh.
So I mean, let's talk about the Bengals.
Go get some Permanentes.
Yeah, fuck it. I really want to talk about the Bengals. Yeah, no, I'm good. Maybe.
You can hate a city and still admit that there's food there.
Yeah, you're right. Food is food.
Food is food, man. And I mean, like now, I will say you'll be very uncomfortable in Permanentes because they advertise Steelers stuff everywhere. But if you close your eyes, it's not a terrible experience.
All right. I'm trying. Okay, so I really want to talk about the Ravens versus Bengals.
Okay.
I don't think that. I think that. What's the weather supposed to be like for that game anyway? Probably better than what it was.
Probably.
I think that
could be
last
much
week with the
worse.
wake up call. Yeah, I think last week with the wake up call. I think that you guys gonna come out. No, I think you guys. I just don't think you guys took it seriously. I think you guys just took it as a joke. And y'all listen to the media and stuff, and I just don't. I really think that's happened. It's human nature, man. People thought the Browns were. And like you said, the Browns, Cleveland, man. He's just going to Cleveland. It's Cleveland.
Which is
what I mean? Like,
stupid.
just how. Well, I mean, but dude, I'll be yelling at. Kyle, you read my Facebook post. I've been saying that for a minute. People hate on the Browns so much to the point where it's not even logical. It was like when we got rid of our kicker. Yes, we should get rid of our freaking kicker. It's like, look, if y'all want to make fun of us because we wasted a draft pick on a kicker, fine, make fun of us. But I ain't gonna kick this kicker because y'all gonna make fun of us.
But y'all also talked a lot of smack about that kicker.
Look, that is perfectly fine. Fine. Whatever. That is perfectly fine. But with all that said, I can't go like, man, I talked up this kicker. So, like, can you imagine? Like, dude, can you imagine? Like, we're at war or some shit with, like, I don't know. We're at war with freaking Japan, for example, right? And we're like, oh man, I got this giant tank. This is such a nice tank, man. This tank is perfect. And the tank is like, keep on breaking down. And you're like, damn, we should roll this tank up in Hiroshima. No, bomb that motherfucker, man.
I think that's most people's point about the Browns.
Fuck up joke. I'll go to hell for that joke. I'll go to hell for that. But my whole thing is that I don't even care how much smack we were talking about the kicker. I don't care. I don't care at all. He sucked. At the end of the day, he sucked. He sucked. And y'all can talk shit about us for getting rid of our kicker. The thing is that we have almost a perfect roster, and we're not going to lose games because of our kicker.
Nobody was making fun of you for cutting your kicker. People were making fun of you for drafting a bad kicker, talking smack about that kicker for like a solid year, and then seemingly out of nowhere cutting him. It's not about the cutting part. It's about everything that came before you cut him.
This dude was missing 25-yard kicks in the preseason. He was missing
25-yard about the preseason.
Dude, when you're a kicker and you can't kick a 25-yard kick, when the pressure's at the lowest, because he was missing. Really, because in college he was the highest. If I wasn't mistaken, he was one of like the highest. Like he broke record field goals.
Yeah, but also y'all sure talk about how great he was last year. That's the point.
No, we talked about how great he was week one. Look, it went. This is how Kate, your stock went. It went
Yeah. He beat the freaking what's it called? Who we beat? Carolina, Baker Mayfield, city hero. And then it's like, ooh, he missed a couple kicks, but he's all right. Ooh, he missed a couple kicks, but he's all right. Ooh, he missed a couple kicks, but he's all right. I was out on him the week that I was out on him exactly was week 5 when we lost to the Chargers last year. Was when I was like, fuck this guy. So it took me 5 weeks. And then I was just like, nah, he's not it. He's not it. And by the end of the season, the whole city hated him. By the end of the season, the whole city, like Cleveland, man, we're another animal, man. We don't like you. We're going to let you know. We're going to tweet about you. We're going to send letters in the mail about you. We're going to yell at your girlfriend. Like Cleveland, when we're pissed off at you, we're going to let you know that we don't like you.
Yeah, I know.
Here's our thing. Anyway, shit. I was like, okay, let me get back to this game. Ravens versus Bengals. I really do think you guys are going to beat the Ravens and think you guys are going to take care of the Ravens in a very spectacular fashion. Why do you say that, Thomas? Thomas, why do you say that? Like I said earlier, I think the Ravens are trying to play a style of play that doesn't match who their quarterback is. Lamar Jackson cannot pass the ball. He just can't. I don't know who out here is trying to tell these people in Baltimore who apparently can't read that Lamar Jackson can't pass the ball. Like, no, he can totally pass the ball. No, Lamar Jackson cannot pass the ball. There's a difference between being a thrower and a pitcher. You do not want your quarterback to be a thrower. You want your quarterback to be a pitcher. There's a difference between being able to throw far and have a strong arm and to be able to throw somebody wide open after you dance around a pocket for 10,000 years and you figure out, oh, they're going Hollywood Brown downfield. Let me just toss a little flip down to him. The big difference between doing that is staying in the pocket and manipulating defenses and be able to throw a player open, be able to see gaps, be able to see formations, all that shit. Lamar Jackson can't do that shit. Because he never did that shit. He literally have never did that shit. And now you're like, hey, let's make Lamar Jackson do that shit. How the hell is he going to do that shit? Because he can't throw the ball. And they turned the ball many times last week. Turnover machine. You guys, even though it rained all last week, one thing the Bengals did a very good job of, this is why I think the Bengals are going to be a fine team, why they're going to be fine, because there were elements you looked at. Like the Bengals be fine. They didn't turn the ball over last week at all in that rain, which is very impressive. They didn't turn the ball over. And you know what I mean? Like there was somewhat of a game plan, even though it was watered down. But y'all ain't gonna treat the Ravens like I treated the Browns. Y'all gonna take the Ravens very seriously. Y'all gonna understand the importance of winning that game. Y'all gonna smoke the Ravens, man. Y'all gonna smoke them bumps. Y'all gonna smoke them bumps. And Lamar Jackson might have the worst season he had of his career.
All right. We should probably go ahead and get to the prediction segment. So as we're only seem to be doing one episode a week, so we're gonna real quick talk about. We got this pick'em league where we can talk about how people are doing. Right now, Majestic YT is in the lead. And I can't figure out why. So here's the issue. Let me bring it up real quick. So I don't know why, but Majestic YT is 12-5 and I'm 11-5. Like how did I miss a game?
Maybe I think what he probably did was did you do last night's game?
Do what?
Did you do last night's game?
Well, last night's game wouldn't count. I'm talking about last week's results.
Did he possibly do?
You know what? That might be it. I didn't even think about that. That might. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's it. That's it. So me and Majestic were tied, and then I forgot to make my pick for the Thursday night game. So that's what happened.
I did too, but I did make a bet on last night's game, man. I am $50 richer. Shout out to Jalen Hurts and D Swift.
For what it's worth, my pick was the Eagles. My boss at work asked me, "Hey, who you betting on?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't really,
Eagles,
I'm not a betting person. But if you want my advice on who to bet on, bet your entire fucking mortgage on the Philadelphia Eagles because the Minnesota Vikings are a joke." And I said that. You can ask.
It's funny.
It's not going to count towards the Pick'em League, but I did pick the Eagles for what it's worth.
I also bet on the Eagles.
By the way, what did you name? So we got in this Pick'em League, we got Majestic YT, we got Galladees, and then we've got two unnamed entries, which I'm assuming one of them's yours, and I'm assuming the other one's Mikey's, but I don't know. One of them. Did you make your picks last week?
I did.
Pick'em League, Thomas?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you're probably the one who went 9-7 then.
Dang, I went 9-7.
Yeah.
Horrible record.
I guess because the other one's 0-0. So
Damn,
the
here, let
other
me
one just didn't submit picks.
Well, let's throw one of that slacker. I'm almost certain I made those picks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I know. You know what's funny is I made my picks like while I was tailgating. I was pretty sure I was drunk, and I was like, "Oh shit, let me make my picks real quick."
Yeah. Okay. It could be possible that you didn't have a good connection and they didn't go in.
Man, I hope that's not what happened. That's actually very possible, but there were a lot of people down there.
Well, why don't you go ahead and because we need to go ahead and make these picks. Why don't you go ahead and log in and get your stuff?
I'm doing it right now.
What would be good is if you could rename your thing to say like Thomas's picks or something, or so I can tell who it is.
I got you. I'll do that.
Okay.
Make sure.
But we're going to go ahead and get started. Obviously, we can't predict Vikings, Eagles. Congratulations to Majestic YT for being the only one to actually make that pick. So he's getting off to a good start.
Whatever the fuck that is.
I would have picked the Eagles, but obviously woulda, coulda, shoulda. I didn't make my pick. So we're going to start, and I'll go ahead and get started because I can see you're working on something, Thomas. So I'll do the first one.
I'm logging on. Go ahead, I'm listening.
So we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Atlanta to play the Atlanta Falcons. So I think I don't fully believe in the Packers. Like just because they beat the Bears is like, yeah, the Packers always beat the Bears. But I definitely don't believe in the Falcons. So I'm going to pick the Packers just because I think the Packers are like a more complete football team. And if Jordan Love actually is good, then the Packers will be dangerous this year.
Wait, let's rewind. Did you pick the Bears over the Packers again last week?
Yes, I picked the Bears. It's my biggest weakness in life, as I believe in the Bears sometimes. I notoriously believed in Mitch Trubisky way too much back in the day.
Oh man, that dude. I'm never gonna forget that episode where that was like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, you and
I'm so
Alex
happy.
will never live.
I can't see your face right now because I don't get my.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to figure that out at some point. I gotta figure out this thing on OBS because it won't let me put my. It let me do it last time. I don't know what's up with that, but we'll figure it out. Either way, this works for now. Unfortunately, StreamYard is just completely useless at this point, so we're not going back. We got to figure this out because we're not going back to that.
Why not, man? They treated us so well.
What, StreamYard? StreamYard. I don't want to pay money for what I can do for free.
Nah, I know. I'll give you a hard time. I'm just saying. I'm talking about our last podcast, our last two podcast networks. They did so well.
Yeah. Well. So like they both like first of all like ATB Network like neither of them promoted us well at all. But ATB Network I feel did a good job of like helping us really kind of like jumpstart. Like I mean like they got us our first logo, like our first good logo. Which kind of jump started the design process and everything like that. So I appreciate what ATB Network did for us. And then the Spot Pod Network, when they were advertising us, they had a bigger audience. So I feel like we got a couple of people from them, and in both cases it didn't end up being a great long term, but I don't regret going with them.
Oh no, dude, that's fun. I mean, ATB is cool. I still do podcasts. I still hop on through podcasts all the time for ATB.
Yeah.
Reach out to me.
Yeah, I don't.
I love being a guest on other podcasts. That's fun.
Yeah, there's good people over at ATB Network. It's just there was another guy who I was who I follow and like mutually follow on who also did ATB Network with like some Bengals stuff, and he was starting his own network, so he asked me if I wanted to go on with him, and I'm like, yeah, why not? My biggest complaint about ATB Network is I didn't feel that they promoted us well enough. Like that was the biggest issue, and that's why the reason we left Spot Pod Network is because like their StreamYard thing wasn't like that thing anymore. But it wasn't because of any particular like beef with anybody there. I don't have anything against anybody there. I just if
you want to make a diss track about it,
we're trying to do our thing. Well, no, this is what I'm saying. I'm not going to make a diss track about it. I got nothing against them.
Why not? Why not?
Because they're good people.
You don't make a diss track.
No. Yeah, you can make a diss track if you want. I don't know what you would make it about.
I don't know why.
Yeah. The Spot Pod isn't good at following through with things sometimes, and it's kind of obnoxious. Yeah.
Your mama smell like onions too.
I've never met Vance or Blake's mom.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Vance and Blake, your mom probably very nice.
Yeah, I'm sure your mom was very nice. Like I said, I got nothing against anybody there. I just
all right.
It wasn't doing.
So the Packers. Who the Packers playing? Who the Packers playing?
The Falcons.
The Falcons, Packers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which team has not been to a Super Bowl? I like that question, Jim. Can you answer that question, Thomas?
He said which team?
Which team has not been to a Super Bowl?
The Jaguars.
The Jaguars. Yeah, that's correct. The Jaguars also have not been to a Super Bowl. The Jaguars have also only been around since 1995. Week 1 was bizarre with the Lions, Browns, and Falcons winning. I don't think the Browns winning was super bizarre. I think what was bizarre was how horrendous the Bengals offense was. Like I'm not terribly surprised that the Browns are like a solid football team. I'm surprised that the Bengals offense was so horrendous that not just that. Joe Burrow was so horrendous that the rest of the team performing well around him didn't matter. That was bizarre to me. That was confusing and weird and like what? It was weird that the Chiefs, Bengals, and Bills all lost though, because like those are supposed to be like the big three in the AFC, and all three of them lost.
Well, the Bills aren't going to be that good this year either.
Yeah, and I think the Chiefs are going to take a bit of a step back too, because I don't think people give enough credit to how much Eric Bieniemy made a difference there.
I just think Josh Allen might get exposed this year.
I mean, I've been saying that for years, so I kind of agree.
You know, it's funny. It's like the football nerds. See, I feel like there's two types of football fans. There's the nerds, like me and you. We're nerds. We're nerds. Let's be real. We're nerds. Emotional, but we're nerds. There's nerds, and then there's like the hardcore rah football people who don't really use logic, but they use the feel and the eye test, which is fine because you can use that. But like they use the eye test. Like I feel like we use our eyes and we use numbers to back up what we see with our eyes. And the rah football people just go by the eyes, but they don't see the numbers. But when you go by the numbers, we do we season our eyes and then you go by the numbers. Usually catch things before the people with the eyes, the field, catch. Because we're like, hey, this is going to happen. This is not sustainable. It might work for now, but eventually people will catch on to this. Because football, people adjust to football. That's why the nerds are usually right. So Josh Allen has had more turnovers than any player in the NFL. How sustainable is that?
I don't. It's not just the turnovers. I don't think Josh Allen has that like. I don't think he's got that dog in him. Honestly, like he doesn't
keep on getting
really.
By,
he can be clutch sometimes, but he doesn't have it when it matters.
He keep on getting bitched by Stephon Diggs every game. Like, Stephon Diggs be bitching him, man. Stephon Diggs be bitching this man.
Stephon Diggs
in front of live television.
I don't know why the Bills thought it wasn't going to be like this because this Stephon Diggs did exactly this in Minnesota.
Same thing to Kirk Cousins. Yeah,
he's not a great teammate.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why the Bills thought it'd be any different in Buffalo. That's unfortunate. I like the Bills, but I don't think that they have a sustainable system built there. I think the best thing they got going for them is Sean McDermott's a really good coach.
That would really suck for Buffalo. Josh Allen don't work out.
Yeah, well, I don't think Josh Allen's not going to work out, but I think it's going to be like another Jim Kelly situation, right? Like never really get over the hump.
Do you think the Bills can win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen at quarterback? Just for since this is the topic, you didn't hesitate.
No,
I didn't have to look at
do I think they're going to go to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl?
Do you think they could win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen at quarterback?
I don't think they will. What can they? I mean, he's good enough. I don't think they will, though.
Interesting. Like that.
Like he's got the talent. I just don't think he's gonna do it.
Okay.
Kind of like Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers had the talent to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but it just never really materialized.
Man, ain't that the truth though? Like, ain't that like the craziest thing? Like, Phillip Rivers was low-key a baller, but he just never making over the hump, man.
Right.
Because he wasn't no Peyton Manning. He wasn't a Peyton Manning or Tom Brady in the day.
Right. But I mean, he had the talent to be on that level. He just never really materialized it.
I mean, but the thing is about Phillip Rivers though is that he kept on choking in the playoffs though. Like, he had LaDainian Thompson. They'll win like freaking 14, 15 games some years. Like, that's not an exaggeration. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Okay, next game. Speaking of the Bills, so you got the Bills hosting the Raiders.
What did the Raiders do last week?
They won.
It's tough. That was a tougher game. Who's home? Bills?
Bills.
That's actually a tougher game. I could see the Raiders winning that game, low key.
I could.
I really could. I really can. That's actually. I want to go first on this one because that's actually a hard pick for me.
Yeah. So it's not a hard pick for me. I'm gonna go with the Bills. But that's not to be totally dismissive of the Raiders. Like the Raiders aren't. I don't think the Raiders are complete dumpster garbage juice. I think they're not great. They beat a Broncos team last week. They beat a Broncos team last week that proved that maybe I was a little too quick to think that with the Russell Wilson experiment might be better this year. But who knows? Week one. It's week one. I don't know. Maybe I end up being right after all. But the Raiders didn't exactly beat anybody who like it's like the Browns beating the Bengals. It's like are you proud of that? Like you're proud of beating the Bengals, sure, but proud of beating what we put on the field.
I'm not, honestly. I'm not. I'm actually kind of pissed off because I really wanted a better game.
Yeah, it wasn't a good game.
You don't mind.
But that's what I'm saying about like now the Broncos and Raiders was a closer game, but it was also like it still was two clearly not very good teams. Let
me say, I'm gonna go with the Bills. I'm gonna go with the Bills.
I think the Bills clearly.
I'm going to Bills.
Let's see. So Russell Wilson in this game. Actually, Russell Wilson wasn't too bad. He threw for. He didn't have a lot of like big yards, but he threw 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. So Russell Wilson wasn't bad. Looks like the Broncos couldn't really run the ball super well. Although they actually didn't run the ball too badly either, so I'm confused how they only got. Looks like the Broncos' offense was all right. They just only scored 16 points. What? Like I don't see any glaring issues here. That they just lost. What? They even got an interception.
Let me say this. I'm gonna be nice about this. I'm gonna say look, the book's still out on the Broncos. Let's wait and see.
Yeah. Well. Based off of what I'm seeing here, I'm thinking maybe I wasn't so far off because it looks like Russell Wilson had a good game. It looks like the Broncos' offense, despite not actually scoring a whole lot, didn't do too badly. So, I don't know. All right, so next up we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Detroit to play the Lions. You go first.
Seahawks going to Detroit to play the Lions. I'm going with the Lions. I just don't think. I think what Seattle did last year was kind of a fluke. If I'm being honest, I just think they took advantage of a weak conference. The NFC is so bad. I just think that
a weak conference that includes the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, man. The only good teams in the NFC are the 49ers and the Eagles. The Cowboys are the third best team in the NFC, homie.
Okay, but you were saying the Seahawks took advantage of a weak division, and the 49ers are in their division.
No, not division.
What do you mean a weak conference? They didn't do much in their conference.
They made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, by winning their division. But no, they didn't win their division.
Yeah, of course. 49ers. They took advantage of a weak-ass conference. They took advantage of a weak conference. Do you think the Seattle Seahawks would have made the playoffs in the AFC?
No, I don't.
There you
go. Okay, but no, I'm gonna agree with you on your pick. I think the Lions are going to be one of those teams this year that is like. I think the NFC is going to be a better conference this year than they were last year, and I think the Lions are going to be one of those teams. Not like. I think the Eagles are still better than the Lions. I don't think the Lions are like a juggernaut or anything like that, but I think the Lions are going to be one of the more like contentious teams in the NFC this year.
That's one thing I love about the NFL is like it just balances itself out. Like it balances itself out so quickly. It's not just like chef kiss.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, so next up we got the Chargers going to Tennessee to play the Titans.
Chargers.
Yuck.
I just don't. You talk about a team that kind of like being exposed. You know what kind of happened with the Titans. Kind of how I feel like it's going to happen to the Ravens eventually. It's like how they went from like being like a good team, but you like this is what they're doing. It's not sustainable. The Titans were on good because they had a good coaching and they had a running back where they get the ball to a million times a game. But you're like, how long can you sustain that? Without having a quarterback, and they have sustained it. So, yeah, no, I'm going with them. I'm going with Titans taking the L this week.
Yeah, no, I agree. Stop saying things that I agree with. But yeah, it's gonna be the Chargers. Like I don't fully believe in the Chargers, but I really don't believe in the Titans. And like the Chargers did pretty well last week. I mean they lost. But they only lost because Tua turned into freaking Dan Marino. So I think the Chargers are like a playoff contender this year. I don't think they're going to be like it would be like a miracle if they were the Super Bowl representative this year. But I think they'll be a playoff team this year. And the Titans, no. They just no. Just no.
Just no.
Just no. Not even happening. All right, next up we got the Chicago Bears traveling to Tampa to play Baker Mayfield's Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I want to go to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to the Buccaneers. I watched that game. I went back and watched that game. Shout out to NFL Plus. Great app. I actually watched that game with the Tampa Bay. Baker didn't look that bad last week. One thing that really impressed me about Baker, Baker had the best receiving core he ever had. Goodwin and Evans. That was just such a great receiving core for him.
Mm-hmm.
You have them big receivers that you just kind of throw it up to, and Baker got a big arm. I think actually Evans is actually a good marriage for Baker because, like, when he was in Cleveland, like, we have those short quarterbacks. You want like a big receiver. You want like a big target. Baker's one of those players who got a big arm. Like a DK Metcalf or Mike Evans type receiver work well with Baker Mayfield. And him having Mike Evans is just going to be like such a godsend for him. They already look like they're gelling well.
Wasn't Mike Evans the guy who made Johnny Manziel look good in college?
Yep.
So it's just that's funny.
I know. But I mean, that's the whole thing though. Like, that's what it is though. Like, you want when you have a small quarterback with a big arm, don't you want him going to a big guy, a big target?
Oh yeah. I think it's a fantastic fit for Baker there in Tampa.
Yeah, no, I think it's fitting like glove. And like I said, NFC weak conference. I mean, he's in one of the weaker divisions in the NFC.
He's been the weakest division in the NFL.
I really do think that Tampa Bay can make some noise. Honestly, as long as they take care of the bad teams, they'll be fine. And this is one of those bad teams. I think they're going to take care of it. And Baker's playing with his back against the wall, and that's when Baker plays his best because like certain people have that mental aspect where they know they could lose everything if they don't perform. Baker's at that level right now. He feels like if he doesn't perform, he will. Like I've seen this guy play. Like when he's at his back against the ball, he plays his best. So I think Baker's going to have his back against the ball this entire season because he's playing for the NFL career.
I agree. And the Bears suck.
Yeah, the Bears suck.
So the Bears suck. That's the analysis.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
Baker and the Buccaneers, I think, are the team to beat in the NFC South right now. Which isn't saying much, but it's not the Saints. It's not the Falcons. It's not the Panthers. So it's got to be the Buccaneers.
Exactly.
But I also think the Buccaneers are pretty good. Not great.
I think they're a solid team,
Yeah.
They're a solid team,
I could see them maybe sneaking their way into the NFC Championship. I mean, like, I wouldn't pick them to be in the NFC Championship, but I could see them being like a sneaky, get hot at the right time type of team.
They really could though. Like that shit could happen. Like some fluke shit, like something happened with San Francisco or Philadelphia, like injury or something. Like you never know what happens. Season's so crazy, man.
Well, I think San Francisco is gonna be the Super Bowl team in the NFC this year.
You know what? I can see that. Honestly, I can see that. They're so good.
Yeah, it's also week one, and just because the 49ers look amazing now doesn't mean they're going to keep looking amazing, especially given their history. All right. So next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars.
Ooh, Chiefs versus Jaguars.
Yeah, that could be a good game.
Yeah, that could be a good game. Actually, that could be a good game. You know what's funny? You said earlier, you kind of like sprinkled us into the podcast. You was like, I don't think that you said. I think that the Chiefs have some weaknesses over there because City's not as good. That was a very interesting take. I thought that was a very intriguing take. Jaguars look dangerous. Jaguars are very dangerous, man. They look very dangerous. Did they get that win last week? Who did they beat last week?
They beat the Colts last week.
But
they beat a Colts team that looks improved. Like Anthony Richardson, I think, is going to make an important difference there in Indy.
Patrick Mahomes has nobody to throw to. Travis Kelce, I heard Taylor Swift. I'm really going to take the Jaguars. I barely ever pick against the Chiefs. I'm going to go to Jaguars actually. With the Chiefs, I'm going to go to Chiefs 3-0-2 this season. I'm going to go to Jaguars. Only because I just feel like there's just less moving parts right now. little more stability in Jacksonville right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Jaguars are on an upward trajectory right now, and like I said, yes, not having Travis Kelce mattered. Yes, not having Chris Jones mattered. But I think the biggest issue for the Chiefs is that Eric Bieniemy's offense was so good at taking advantage of the gifts that Patrick Mahomes has. The guy who's there now, Matt Nagy, he is not exactly known for being some. In fact, he's actively known as being somebody who is not good at taking advantage of a mobile quarterback. You know, he did his best work as Alex Smith's offensive coordinator with the Chiefs, and he did a good job with Alex Smith. But Patrick Mahomes is a completely different style of quarterback, and the most similar quarterback that Matt Nagy ever had to Patrick Mahomes is Mitch Trubisky. And Mitch Trubisky was not as bad as he looked in Chicago. I mean, he's not great, but he was not as bad as he looked in Chicago. And it was because Matt Nagy has no idea how to game plan for a quarterback like that. I think he's just too much of a traditionalist. So until I see differently, I don't think that the Chiefs are going to be they'll still be contenders. They're still the fucking Chiefs, and it's still Patrick Mahomes. But they're not going to be. I don't think they're going to be like that, like AFC juggernaut this year. I think they're going to be like one of the teams in the mix, but I don't think they're going to be like the team this year.
Good. There's one less team in the mix now.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to be in the mix. I didn't say that. I just don't think they're going to be the team.
One less team. There's one less team in the mix now. We're good to go. Eventually.
Yeah. All right. So next up, you got the Texans and the Colts. Both teams that did not win last week. However, both like very different ways that they did not win. Like the Texans looked pathetic against the Ravens. The Colts looked really good against the Jaguars. They just couldn't get it done at the end.
With that example, with you saying it like that, I'm going to be inclined to take the Colts. Not only just that, Texans is just a horrible franchise. Fuck the Texans.
Yeah. Well, like the Texans are supposed to be better this year because like DeMeco Ryans should be a good coach. You know, they made some smart additions recently. They finally got rid of what's his name, the general manager guy who was there. They finally got rid of that guy. But if Week 1 was any example, which I think it's important to say, Week 1 is Week 1. Like you can't read too much into Week 1. It's not.
Oh yeah,
it's not really the best thing to determine like who's who. But I think we can pretty safely say right now the Texans are bad until they prove otherwise.
Oh, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
All right. So next up, you got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Los Angeles to play the Rams.
Give me the 49ers. We just had this conversation about how much we both think the 49ers are probably the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I agree. And Kyle Shanahan has like owned Deshaun McVay. So
yeah.
I mean, like,
funny.
I kind of wanted to take the Rams here because I thought that they were kind of impressive last week. But with Cooper Kupp, I think out for the season.
Oh wow!
I know the Rams looked like the Rams looked like a resurgent version of the Rams in Week 1. But the 49ers are a much better team, and I don't think the Rams are quite back. So I mean, we'll see. I could be wrong, but I once again gonna agree with your pick here, which is dumb.
We disagree with it.
Are we gonna have we disagreed on any picks yet?
Nope.
Let's see. Packers. We both picked the Packers. We both picked the Bills.
We might agree all the way through, man.
Chargers, Bucks. Yeah, no, we've agreed on every pick so far. Stop it. Stop making sense.
Lions, Tigers, don't mind. You stop making sense.
All right. So I imagine we're probably going to agree on this next game.
Okay.
But maybe not. I don't know. Giants, Cardinals.
Both of those teams suck, though.
They do. This is not going to be an exciting game.
I'm actually going to go with the Cardinals in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Damn, both of these teams suck though, man. I'm not even going with the Cardinals. Yeah, I'm with the Cardinals. Ah,
Okay.
both of these teams are Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals.
All right.
I'm trying because like I just don't know. Like I'm just sitting here and looking at the Giants. Like, well, what can the Giants beat you?
Well, I'll tell you. I think. Now this is not like this is like this amazing version. And you know how I feel about the guy. So
Daniel Jones.
I feel similarly to Daniel Jones. Maybe not. I don't feel quite as much spite towards Daniel Jones that you feel towards Carson Wentz, but I definitely.
You suck, Carson.
I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't think he's a good quarterback. However, I think he's primed to have a big game against the Cardinals. I think this is like the perfect storm for him. So I think Daniel Jones is going to go off in this one.
Okay, so I'm going to pick the first game we disagree with. There we go. I
should complain about it more. All right. So next, I really can't imagine we're going to disagree on this one. So you got the Dallas Cowboys hosting the New York Jets.
Yeah, give me Cowboys. It would be funny if the Jets won this game, though.
What would be hilarious is if Zach Wilson like kind of came back and like solidified himself as like the future of the Jets. That would be fun.
I'm rooting for Zach Wilson, man. He's a little shit.
Zach Wilson. He's such a dick.
He loves sleeping with moms.
Well, that's fine for him, but he's still a little spoiled ass brat. I mean, hopefully, you know what? I hope that Zach Wilson learned the lesson about like not taking himself too seriously and not thinking that he's just hot shit and can do whatever he wants. I hope Zach Wilson learned a lesson from this whole situation and becomes a better person. And in that, if that's true, then I will root for Zach Wilson. But if he's still the same person that he was before Aaron Rodgers took over, then no, I'm not going to root for that guy.
He like his nanny, man. His nanny, he must have had a hot nanny growing up. He must have had a very hot nanny growing up. Always had a hot nanny.
Oh, God. All right. So next up, we got the Washington Commanders traveling to Denver to play the Broncos.
Are the Commanders going to change their name again? Or how do we feel about Sam Howell?
He looked all right last week, but he played the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he didn't look amazing. He looked like about what you would expect out of Sam Howell, but like on the higher end. I mean, he got the job done.
Yeah.
Now, the Commanders won because their defense was good. But Sam Howell definitely didn't destroy them.
They still got Chase Young. Don't they?
I feel like he's like out or something like that.
Ron Rivera still coached the Commanders.
Okay, so Chase Young is apparently expected to play against the Broncos. But like honestly, there was talk this offseason that they might just like straight up cut him because he hasn't.
See, he hasn't really. You know what's funny about it is that I just kind of want to be right about the Broncos so bad. I want to pick against them, even though it's not logical to pick against the Broncos in the game, honestly. But you know what though? But who's home? Washington or
It's in Denver.
The Broncos. It's in Denver. It's not logical to pick against the Broncos, but I'm gonna pick against the Broncos. I don't know why I feel like I might pick Gazelle. They might pick Gazelle.
Who are you picking?
The Commanders.
Okay. I'm picking the Broncos.
Okay.
Now the Commanders won last week and the Broncos didn't. But again, like I said, from what I can tell, it looks like the Broncos had like the opposite problem that the Bengals had. Like Russell Wilson played well. and they didn't put up points. The Bengals issue was that Joe Burrow played badly and they didn't put up points. But to be completely honest, actually, I think if the Bengals had put up the points that the Broncos had, then it's quite possible that I'm not saying the Bengals win that game with 16 points because the Browns scored 24, but don't forget that when the Browns got that final touchdown, it was basically over at that point. And the Bengals defense played a really good game. So I think if the Bengals had put up the Broncos kind of offensive performance, which still wasn't much, I think there's a chance the Bengals could have won that game.
Very possible.
But I think the Broncos' offense looked better, and I'm still not totally sold on the Commanders, so I'm going to go with the Broncos, even though I picked them last week and was wrong. So, all right, next up, you got the Miami Dolphins traveling New England play the Patriots.
Dolphins.
Yeah,
and I don't really think I don't think it's going to be as easy. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think Patriots. You can never count the Patriots. I know you can. You can, but you can't.
Well,
wait.
The Dolphins' offense looked so good last week. Now that was against the Chargers, though, and the Patriots have a better defense. So, I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I don't think it's going to be super competitive either. I think the Dolphins are probably going to win by like 2 scores, like a 28-14 type of game.
Yeah, the Dolphins should pull out that game.
Yeah, I think so. All right. So next up, you got the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers in Carolina.
Damn.
Yeah.
New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah, give me New Orleans. Give me Derek Carr. Derek Carr, get your ass. Barely.
I do like Derek Carr.
Only because like Carolina's so bad.
Yeah.
Carolina's so bad.
Yeah, I mean they lost 24-10 to the Falcons. So
Carolina's so bad.
The only thing is the Panthers seem to have a pretty decent little running game going there. Now the problem is though, when Hayden Hurst is your leading receiver, you've got a problem. Like I loved Hayden Hurst in Cincinnati as like the fourth option, you know, not as your leading receiver.
Why do you get rid of him anyway?
I think we just didn't want to pay him what the Panthers paid him. I don't think it was that we were trying to get rid of Hayden Hurst. I think it was more like the Bengals felt that he was worth a certain contract, and Hayden Hurst felt he could get more on the open market, and then he was right. So I think because we replaced him with Irv Smith, and Irv Smith is probably about the same caliber of player, honestly.
Yeah.
And actually, honestly, Hayden Hurst is probably a higher potential player. Like Irv Smith, I think Irv Smith is like, you know, a little better as a blocker than Hayden Hurst. And with the fact that the Bengals aren't really like a tight end heavy offense in the first place, it's fine. But yeah. Like I liked Hayden Hurst, and I liked what Hayden Hurst brought to the offense, but if he's your leading receiver, there's a problem. It means you have nothing else going on. Their next leading receiver was Terrace Marshall Jr., who's a good receiver, but again, shouldn't be your top guy. So, all right. I think we both agree on that one. Like the Panthers are just a fucking mess. And like I don't really believe in the Saints a whole lot, but I do believe in Derek Carr as a player. So I'm gonna go with the Saints in this one just because like I don't see really any other option. All right. So then I think we have 2 games left to predict. Let's go ahead and start with the Ravens and the Bengals. I think I know what our pick is. Like you already told me what your pick is.
Yeah.
So
Orthodox.
yeah, I think we're gonna agree on this one.
Yeah. I'm going with the Bengals. I just don't think the Ravens. I mean, all the reasons I listed earlier. I just don't. I think the Ravens are trying to become a passing team with a quarterback that runs and a quarterback that proven multiple times that he can't pass and he's not going to be able to pass by now. He's not going to learn that ability. Not at this point.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. I think Lou Anarumo. Now, while historically Lamar Jackson's been quite good against the Bengals, not since Lou Anarumo's been here. So I think the Bengals are going to be able to keep the Ravens' offense very well in check, and it's the offense has got to do something at some point, man. And here's the thing: I think once the dam breaks, it's gonna like when it rains, it pours. You know, I think once that dam breaks for the Bengals' offense, it's gonna level out. They're gonna start putting up some numbers. I think part of what happened against the Browns was they just couldn't figure anything out. But once they figure something out, they're going to run it into the ground. That's one thing I will say about Zach Taylor that is really good about him. When it comes to a game plan that is working, he's really good at doubling down on that game plan. You know, I wish he was better at recognizing things that are working that aren't in the game plan and implementing them, kind of like the running game last week. I don't think the game plan was to run a whole lot, but the running game was working, so it would have been really nice to be like, okay, well, let's just run the ball more. But when things are in the game plan and work, he's really good at adjusting the game plan to feature more of what basically double down on himself. Zach Taylor's a very confident person and a very aggressive coach. So when stuff like that works, when they figure something out on offense, they typically can't like once they figure it out, you can't stop them. It's very difficult to stop the Bengals once they get going. So I think that might be what we're looking for in this game.
Mate, dude, you always hear me talk. Dude, I don't know how many times I say on this podcast the Bengals are fine. Man, look, I'm not as mean to you guys as some of my Brown fans, colleagues. You know what'd be funny about that is that like when I was in last weekend, every single time I see a Bengals fan, I'm like, hey, Pittsburgh sucks. Pittsburgh sucks.
Yeah.
Hey, chant with me, right? That's another thing is I didn't see a lot of fights between Bengals and Browns fans. I mean, obviously I've seen a lot of arguments, but we don't fight y'all as much, man. Every Steelers fan can be fighting. Like it's a rivalry and everything. But like I always say the Browns Bengals rivalry to me is like it's like twin brother rivalry type thing where y'all just like
feel that
where I hate y'all. I hate y'all, but I already hate y'all. Like I really don't like them motherfuckers. Like I want to beat y'all at the same time. Like if y'all do good, like I mean, there's a lot of people in Cleveland who root for Bengals.
That's cool.
I wasn't one of those people.
To be clear, if the Browns made it to the Super Bowl and they won, I would be very happy for you.
But you hate the fact that the Browns won Super Bowl, yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I would not be rooting for the Browns in the moment. But if they did win, I would let you come on and talk your smack, and I'd be happy for you because you're my friend.
But I'm the same way. I'm the same, but that's because we're good people. Because I'm the same way. But trust me, I don't want to see the Bengals. Personally, I don't want to see the Bengals in the Super Bowl. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't like the Bengals. Like, there's a lot of people who hey, fuck them people. But you know what I mean? It's not like, I mean, like, we don't like y'all, but at the same time, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's, I don't know, it's weird. It's a different kind. Like, all the rivals on the division are just, like, different. Like, the Bengals, like I said, it's kind of like a sibling rivalry type thing where, we really don't like y'all, but we want to beat y'all, but we don't really hate y'all that much. We just don't like y'all. We just don't like y'all type thing. Where the Steelers is just like, fuck them motherfuckers. Fuck them motherfuckers. Yeah. Like there's no redeeming qualities about them motherfuckers. Like fuck them motherfuckers. Don't be a Steeler. And the Ravens stole our team. So of course we don't like them because they stole our team. Yeah. So it's like it's different kind of hate. So yeah, I don't know.
All right. And then the last game, we got your Browns traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers.
Dude, I've been thinking about this game all fucking day. I bought my ticket for a game last night. Oh, man, dude, I got some good-ass seats. Me and my boy are going. We got Airbnb. But on this bitch. God, I can't wait. What's your prediction? I want to hear this. In fact, I want to hear your analysis because I've been talking about this game all day.
Okay, who you want to know my prediction? I think the Browns are going to sweep them.
Oh, yeah,
I think the Steelers are trash. Like, I said what I said about the Browns offense. I think the Browns offense is not going to be like a top like echelon offense. I think Deshaun Watson still has a bit of room to kind of come back to where he used to be. But I think the Steelers are horrendous. I think they'll be playing for a little bit of pride, so it won't be as big of a blowout as like the game with the 49ers. But I still think it's going to be at least. I think it's going to be at least a 10-point win for the Browns.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I want the Browns to just smoke the Steelers. I really do. Kenny Pickett is so bad, homie. Kenny Pickett is so bad, dude. The thing is about Pittsburgh that gets me is that Pittsburgh, they have this complex to them where they like to, where basically they believe in tradition and what happened in the past so much that they're delusional with in front of them. Like, everybody in the world, everybody in the division been telling Pittsburgh Steelers that their quarterback is bad. Everybody else in the world is like, oh, no, Kenny Pickett's going to be fine because they're the Steelers. Literally, everybody else saying, like, us Bengals and Brown fans, like, the only reason why people are telling y'all that Kenny Pickett's good is because y'all the Steelers. Kenny Pickett played for either our teams, he'll be getting roasted on a daily basis. Exactly. We all know that's true. We all know
Kenny
that's true.
Pickett is Andy Dalton.
He sucks. He not Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was at least decent. This man's not even decent, man. He sucks, man.
That's what I'm saying, though. I think Kenny Pickett has the potential to be decent. I do. I think he has the potential to be decent. I don't think he ever has the potential to be like, what the Steelers want him to be. But I think he could be solid. I don't think he will be. But I think I think he's probably more likely going to be.
The Steelers are going to be looking for a quarterback next year.
Okay, so right now, Kenny Pickett's going to be somewhere between Jake Locker and Andy Dalton. And he could be as good as Andy Dalton. I don't think he will be because I think the Steelers are too much of a mess right now for him to really develop properly. But I think his floor is Jake Locker, which basically means he's just not going to be good, and he's going to end up retiring because he loses his passion for the game. He's going to end up retiring early.
I told I think the Browns defense is about to get a lot of pressure on him. I think the Browns bring a lot of. I think he might get sacked. I think over under 2 picks for Kenny Pickett on Monday. Or 1.5 picks. Do you think he'll have
over
more
under
than 1.5 picks?
I'll go over because I think it's going to be 2. Yeah. I was going to say push on the 2.
Okay. I won't go. Yeah, I think it'll be 2, maybe 3. But I think Miles Garrett's going to have 4.
I think the Browns secondary is going to look at the tape from that Bengals game and be like, man, we did a really good job, but like, we didn't get any interception. We didn't get any picks. We didn't eat really. And so I think the Browns secondary is going to be hungry to make something happen.
I agree with that.
Because like that was the one aspect of the defense that wasn't really like flashy,
Yeah, no, I mean I completely agree with you. I just don't think. I mean, and Kenny Pickett's not a good quarterback. I don't know. I'm something I say that, but I got to yell that from a rooftop. Kenny Pickett is not a good quarterback, but Pittsburgh Steelers fans are the most delusional motherfuckers on earth.
Oh, they always have.
It's like, no, you're the delusional one. We got 5, 6 Super Bowls. Well, congratulations on 6 Super Bowls. Congratulations. You also have 6 parades.
Yeah. All right. I think that's about it. I think that's
I'm
about
tired.
it. We got all our picks in.
Yeah.
The ones me and Thomas both missed our Eagles Vikings picks, but so do the rest of y'all except for Majestic YT, who actually did get them in. So congratulations to
Yeah,
Majestic for
fuck
getting
you,
a head
nerd.
start.
Yeah, whoever that nerd is.
I was actually on the phone with him the other day, and I think I tipped him off to make that pick, and I just didn't do it myself. So that's my fault.
Shout out to Majestic YT, you cool people.
Yeah, he's a good guy. All right, but I think, like I said, I think that's about it for today's episode. I don't even know how long we've gone because, like,
An hour.
that was one thing that was nice about StreamYard is it told me how long we've been on. So I don't even.
I'm looking at it right now. It's telling me right now. It says an hour and 45 minutes right there.
Hour and 45 minutes. Okay, so that's a little
Well, hour
longer
and
than I think we
44
intended.
and 42 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hour 40.
Right. Because we started right about 9, and I didn't intend to get started right away, but that's just kind of what happened. So yeah.
I got a cookie crumble.
Yeah. Hopefully this will work. Like in the future, if I can't figure out OBS Ninja, I can just do it this way. And the downside is you can't see my camera this way.
That's fine. I can hear you. It's perfectly fine. Huh?
Yeah. But like, I mean, you can't see my facial expressions. So like, if I'm saying something in a very like if I'm joking, but I'm being very dry about it, it might be hard to tell if you can't see my facial expressions. Okay. I see your facial expressions.
I was wondering how the case
I can see you fine. Like, I mean, I've got a perfect view. I wish I could share my screen with you. I don't know how to do that.
We got one more pick we gotta make. We got a big pick we gotta make. We got Iowa State is favorite by 3.5 points against Ohio University. Who you got? Ohio University playing home, by the way.
Playing against who? Iowa State?
Yeah.
Is Iowa State any good? Can't tell you the last time I heard about Iowa State's football team.
Usually not.
I say the Bobcats are gonna win. Let's go Bobcats.
You damn right. You think the Bobcats are going to win?
Yeah. Let's go. Bro, I'm a Bobcat and a Bearcat and a Wildcat and I'm a Bengals fan. I don't even really like cats. Like I prefer dogs when it comes to like pets. But like all my teams are cat teams. I don't get it.
Dang man, all my teams are dog teams, man. Even the Cavs got a dog mascot.
Not the Bobcats.
Oh, that's true. I'm all over the place. Then. I don't know what the fuck kind of mascot animal the Guardians got. What the fuck is a slider? That ugly ass.
And
thing. I don't know your
FC Cincinnati's mascot is a lion. So there's the Reds. The Reds aren't a cat team.
I need a cat. I need to get this soccer team now so we can do this three city rivalry. Like I don't think the world is ready for a 3-city rivalry between Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, and soccer. I don't think people realize like what that would actually be like because I think I have an idea what that would be like. That'd be hilarious. I wouldn't like soccer, but I just want that just for that like rivalry. I just feel like that'd just be hilarious.
Well, I'll tell you one thing right now. FC Cincinnati's the team to beat right now, and that's not me being boisterous. That's man. Like FC Cincinnati's the Messi? Team in MLS right now.
Oh, didn't they beat Messi or wasn't like it was close?
I don't know if they beat Messi or not, but I know they got a better record than Miami.
Yeah, no. Because they sucked before Messi got there. Messi got there, they became great. But no, that's the main thing. Like Miami was terrible before he showed up. It's crazy. It's crazy how great he is.
That was 2017. Never mind. I think we lost. So I think what it was it was 3-3, and then we lost on penalties or something like that.
Yeah, you lost. Yeah, it was the kickoff because they do the penalty kicks.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a really close game. But what's the MLS standings look right now? I know, like we clinched the playoffs like forever ago. Me and my wife actually went to a FC Cincinnati game, and we lost that game, but it didn't matter because we already like clinched.
You have fun?
Oh yeah, dude, it was awesome. It was awesome. Soccer games are great. I used to go up to before FC Cincinnati existed. I used to go up to Columbus Crew games with my friends.
You nerd?
Huh? You call me a nerd?
Yeah.
Fuck you too.
You are going to soccer games and shit.
FC Cincinnati currently, I believe, still has. Yeah, they got the best record in MLS by a wide margin. By the way, like they've got like 57 points. Closest anybody else has is 48.
Wow.
So I mean, it's not even close. FC Cincinnati's like blowing the league away this year. Hopefully, they actually win the championship, but they're definitely going to win the Supporters Shield.
17-4, man. That's insane. I don't know, man. Miami's looking good, homie.
Yeah, I don't even know if Miami's going to make the playoffs, though.
Yeah, they're 8-14. They got to go on like a same winning streak.
Yeah, and the season's almost over too. So I think I don't think Miami's going to make it. But like I think Miami brought in Messi for next year, not this year.
Yeah, not for this year. Yeah, for all the hype, people won't crazy with Messi, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that said, we need to go ahead and win the MLS Cup this year so that we don't have to deal with Messi next year.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea because he's going to get comfortable and he's going to go nuts.
Is it really, man? According to Majestic, is my audio echoing to you, Thomas? Are you hearing an echo?
Well, I got headphones, so not really. Not anything like.
So you're not hearing any echo, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
Okay, Majestic's saying I'm echoing, which I'm hearing an echo, but I heard it last time, so I don't know.
Yeah, very possibly.
This whole thing, I've got to figure out OBS Ninja, but yeah.
Every single time I say OBS Ninja, I always think about that game that we played when we was kids. Oh, Ninja!
Okay.
What a fun game.
All right.
Thomas, you want to play Ninja? I remember the first time the kids invited me to play Ninja. Daryl White, by the way. They was like, Thomas, you want to play Ninja? I'm like, Ninja? What the fuck is Ninja? It's like, it's when we all just say Ninja and then you got like one move. I'm like, man, that's the stupidest shit ever. Go and watch it. I'm like, damn, it's kind
of. All right. Well, I think that's it for this episode of the Battle of the Ohio podcast, y'all. So as a reminder, if you weren't here earlier, my plans got completely turned upside down this weekend. So I will be streaming the Bengals Ravens game after all, and I have plans to stream. I don't have plans to not stream any games going forward. I was just thinking I was going to be out of town for the Ravens game, but I'm not now. So I will be there. But anyway, yeah, thanks for listening to, thanks for watching the Battle of Ohio podcast, listening however you consume the product. You can always catch more of what he does at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram, and the Thomas J Network on TikTok and YouTube. And then you can find more of me at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/thephelps. Here, subscribe. Battle of Ohio podcast, obviously, you know, like y'all know the spiel at this point. You know, I haven't been as consistent lately as I'd like to be, but I do have some things in the works. So. Apologies if my audio's been echoing this whole time. I'm still trying to figure out OBS Ninja. It's a weird new system, and I don't know exactly how it works. But anyway. Oh, you know what? I wonder. Hold on.
And I wonder if you are.
I'm gonna take. Okay.
The fire into.
Now,
And,
Thomas, you never heard me echoing at all, right?
Nah.
Okay, so
You sound
Majestic,
beautiful.
I don't know if because we're about to hop off of here, but hopefully that fixed it. I'll go back and check, but I think it was sending my audio because I'm still echoing in my headphones, and I don't know how to fix that. It's really annoying, but I think I fixed it because I had audio both coming through OBS and also OBS Ninja, so that was probably why you heard it echoing. But hopefully it's fixed now. I don't know, but it's late. I'm gonna be up anyway, but I got other things I gotta go do. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and hopefully the Bengals do better next week because that was just depressing. But it's always depressing when we play the Browns. You know.
I don't know what kind of like deal we got against. What kind of mob y'all got to deal with to be losing against the Browns like this?
I don't know, which is kind of nuts because like I believe the Bengals still have a winning record overall against the Browns because like historically, in general, it hasn't been like we've dominated you historically, but like historically, the Bengals have been generally better than the Browns in like these matchups. I don't know how much that's swung because of recent results, but I don't know. I'll have to check. Actually, I could probably check now, right? All right, so Browns.
That's the 100th meeting. I'm gonna go with Browns with 45 wins, Bengals with 65.
Okay. Oh, you're close. It's Bengals 52, Browns 48. So the Bengals are still in the lead, but obviously the Browns have caught up a bit in recent years.
Oh, close.
So it was a lot worse than that. Slightly annoying, but the earliest that the Browns could catch up to the Bengals, like tie the series, would be 2025, I believe.
2025.
Like, y'all would, and unless we meet in the playoffs, we could meet in the playoffs, and that would do it. But if we're just meeting twice a year, then you would have to win the next 4 meetings to catch up with us, which would at the earliest would be the first game of 2025.
Oh. Yeah, we can do that. We can do it. I believe in us.
Now we're gonna win.
I'll give it to 2020. I'll give it to 2028, yo.
2020. Now we're gonna get this.
I mean, the Browns had dominated the Steelers like before the Steelers came. Like the Steelers didn't pass the Browns in the all-time season record until like 8 years ago. Because the Browns dominated the Steelers.
Yeah, it was because the Steelers were trash for 40 years.
Yeah, no,
the Steelers were awful up until
the Super Bowl era,
which obviously the Super Bowl era is the only thing anybody pays attention to these days. But before the Super Bowl era, the Steelers were like a pathetic franchise.
I know they never admitted.
Yeah,
they need to go back to that.
That would be nice. That'd be nice. I do think that they're going to be going through a bit of a slump for a little while, which will be very nice breath of fresh air. But anyway, I've been trying to sign off for like 10 minutes at this point, so we're gonna go ahead and hop off on out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Hoo day.
Go Browns.